Morning, Inspired. So I think I'm gonna start calling these tips on Tuesdays at 10ish. It seems like every time I try to sit down and get everything going, there seems to be some delay with technology. So I'm excited to be on here. Last week I did the tips on Tuesdays and it never actually took, so it wasn't there. So I'm excited to be here this morning. If you're jumping on, make sure and tell me hello. We've got a lot of new members here at Inspired Nation. So one of the things I want to do is just go back. Good morning, Julia. Is just go back and really kind of educate everyone what the purpose is of the group, the things that you can do to take advantage of being in this group, and really understanding how this is an opportunity to expand your business. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about is why we created Inspired Nation. A lot of you know that on Facebook, we have all these different tools and everything that's out there. And one being obviously the business pages, and another, you've got the the groups, and they all work a little differently. And of course, we all know about Facebook algorithms and making sure everybody, sees the information that you put out there. So one of the things that we decided to do is, yes, we have a business page. Yes, it talks about our product and our services. But, inside Inspired Nation, we wanted to be able to create a community of business professionals from really around the world that wanted to come and you really surround themselves with other people who want to truly be a part of each other's success story. And that's kind of what we say here at Inspired, is that we want to be a part of each other's success story. We want to help one another move forward towards our goals, to conquer those roadblocks, to bust through them, to celebrate milestones with one another, and really just to create a place where we can come and connect with other people who might be industry collaborators. They're in that same sphere of influence within the same industries, and a place to be able to come and say, this works for me, you might want to try it, or I had great success with with putting this out on Facebook, or connecting with this person, or this particular industry is a really good golden goose referral generator for me. You may want to find someone in your community that's like this, and just to be able to kind of come and share that information. What I love is creating that environment where you may not ask your direct competitor that's 2 blocks away from you how they're growing their business, but you would reach out to someone that has no direct competition with you, but they're in the same industry and they're states away, and you can ask them, what's working for you, or this worked for me. So a place of safety, a place to build those connections and relationships. We also want to be able to come in here and share, our celebrations. So a lot of times I'll come in, and we always start everything, all our webinars, all our workshops, everything starts with celebrations. And it really is about recognizing those wins. And whether or not, I always say, whether or not it's a tiptoe forward or a huge leap forward, we want to celebrate all of those so that one day we can look back, and if we're celebrating them, we're accounting for those positive moments towards everything. Because let's face it, we know what it's like when we're trying to grow our business, and there's a lot of bruises and bumps that come along the way. So we want to celebrate the positive things that are happening. Obviously, not to the point to where we're ignoring the negative, because those may be, things that we have to, address so that they don't keep holding us back, or they don't keep reoccurring. But we want to recognize the celebrations. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're an Inspired, and you own your own business, and you've had this great, crazy, thought that you could go out and, offer a product or service, and people are going to pay you for it, and you are surrounded with other naysayers. Like, no one is really in your corner. No one, and it's hurtful. I know what it's like, to have, these crazy ideas, and you're like, I think this is what I can do. And, you almost want to keep them to yourself because you're afraid to share with someone else because they might pop your bubble. And I love creating this place where we can come and reach out to one another. A lot of times those type of conversations take place more when we have our jam sessions or we have the I network. And we want to make sure that you feel comfortable, reaching out here in Inspired Nation with those other professionals. Everyone that's been here has either been invited by me because you're connected to me on Facebook, or you've been invited by another person in here. And so one of the things that we always say with Inspired is invite those that you actually want to collaborate with, those that you want to build your business with. And so all of you that are here, I'm going to challenge you over the next month to really take advantage of this group and what we can do with it. And one of the things that I want to do is talk about ways you can post in this group that would really serve your business best, okay? And it allows me to hit the approve button so that we can, get your information out there. I also want to talk about just kind of touch on, I don't want to go real deep in this, but I do want to talk about, the different ways you can generate referrals for your business. But it all starts with relationships. So, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd love to grow my business using referrals. Maybe you already have word of mouth marketing working for you, but you'd like to actually have a strategy to it, or you'd like to increase it. That's really the foundation of what Nspired was built on. Now, granted, our consulting goes beyond that these days, but it was really, really built on training people how to grow their business, by creating, referral opportunities that weren't happen chance, but it was a strategy in order to create that. So let me talk first about the way that you should think about Inspired Nation. First of all, it is somewhat of an open group because it's closed in the fact that it's a private group. You have to be approved to get in. Obviously, I look and see who was the person who invited the person in here. And but within that, this isn't a closed group when it comes to only certain number of industries are allowed to be in it. So yes, if you're joining, obviously I'm from the CSRA area here in Augusta. We've got a lot of people in this area. So yes, your direct competitor can be in this group. But the one thing that, like a lot of Facebook groups out there, we really frown on direct selling. So of course we have where when you make a post on out there, other than a comment, we look at it. There's a lot of times that I turn down posts that honestly, if you would just rephrase it, it would be great. So let's talk about rephrasing. One of the things that holds me back from approving some posts is when you're self-promoting your business. And even if you're like, hey, what I do is such a value to others that I'm just telling people about the value that they can have if they use my product or service, or how great it would help them. Here's the deal. When it comes to really understanding how to do a networking group, it's not what you do, okay? It's really not how great your product or service works. It's not, whatever, the solution it's gonna, solve for that person. It's really more about telling us who it is on the other side that's using that product or service. It's really more about educating us who your target market is, and is educating us on who you would like to connect with as a referral generator. And so when you're telling us about your product or services, and if you're reading it and it looks like it's speaking to the person who is reading that post, then you're more in what we call sales mode. Okay, and we want to move everyone more over to referral marketing mode. So I'm gonna, I would love for everyone to go out and introduce themselves and tell us what your target market looks like. Tell us, the challenge that your product, solves. Okay, not, more like, when this person says, it needs to be phrased in a way that it's like a trigger word. When a person says this and it triggers that they have this problem and my product is the solution, let's not go into how your product is going to solve the problem or everything. Like, don't go there. Go over here and really more talk about if you know someone who has this challenge, this is how you can recommend me, bring me up, or set up a strategy session with me so that I can properly tell you how you can recommend me, introduce me, generate this opportunity for me, all of these positive inspired words that are out there. So we want, yes, it's one thing for us to understand your industry and what you're in, but the minute you go into describing what you do, you're in sales mode. So we want to shift that. And again, it's about educating us. Basically, who is it that's going to pay you? I always tell everybody, and if you're coming in Inspired Nation, if you're going into any other organizational meeting and you're just looking at the number of people there and you're thinking, gosh, even if you're doing a percentage, 10% of these people as a new client would grow my business. I get that. I really do. I understand the percentage of numbers that are in your favor if you can convert so many people into, becoming a client of yours. But what you're actually doing is losing opportunities. Instead of coming in here and looking at every person's name as a particular transactional dollar sign, I want you to think of, when you go into this group, you go into a live networking group, think of everyone in here as a Rolodex of contacts. Someone who can be an influencer for your business, someone who can generate opportunities, basically someone who knows more people. So if you can move beyond that one person that you think could become a client of yours, if you just told them everything that would, about your product and how awesome it is and how awesome you are and all these things, right? Like, just trust me on this. If you will go from thinking that one single transaction is worth it to going into what would it be if that one person learned how to tell all of those that they come in contact with about me. Now you go into a mindset of being able to multiply yourself in so many ways. And that has been my experience. That's the experience that we train our clients to do. That mindset that if I can just get a handful, it doesn't even take a lot, just a handful of people who are willing to go out there and really dump in to be a part of my success story. And they're willing to learn my trigger words. They're willing to learn, what to look for, even here on social media, right? Like what inside of a group, how to properly tag me, how to bring me up, how to, when is a good way to recommend me, when's a good time to please don't tag my name, right? And so there's so many different things that you can train each other on how to help us grow our business. So I can tell you that if it's over here in sales mode, your post isn't going to get approved because we're not direct selling in this group. So if you want that awareness, you want people to connect with you, you want to start taking advantage of this network that we're building here, then you want to rephrase your post. You want to go out there and say, okay, this is what I do, but this is who. So it's not about what you do, it's about who is your target market. Now, I love to train ideal target markets, and a lot of times I'll spend time on that. But remember, the only thing I'll give you here in today's thing is remember, when you're telling people about your who, why not go ahead and be very specific and tell us about your ideal client base that you're wishing to attract to you, rather than just what I call the ABCD client base, where you get this variety from VIP all the way down to one that, let's face it, you wish you shoulda, never, coulda picked them up as a client because they're actually costing you money. And so when you get a chance, and what we call here in Nspired the boomerang effect, is what you throw out there is what you're going to get back. So why would you cast a net that could catch you all kind of clients, right? The ones that can cost you money, ones that really aren't necessarily making you your profit margin. And so one of the things that I do is, before you make that post, is really think about that law of attraction, right? What is it that you are wishing to attract to your business? Think about your VIP clients that you already have. What are the attributes about that client that you wish to duplicate over and over and over again? And that's what you want to post. That's what you want to put out there. And the better you can describe that client base to us, and for some people it's trigger words. It could be a life event that triggers that person to need you. It could be the position they hold in their company is what causes them to need you. It could be a company, right? It could be a company going through what I call business life events, maybe a partnership forming, partnership splitting. There's a business expanding, someone buying into a franchise. All of these things are triggers that trigger a need for someone's product or services. And if that is a trigger for you, educate us on that. Come out here. I knew Miss Millie was going to bark on me. So educate us on your triggers. Educate us on not only your who, but then the how. How, once we see someone that needs your product or services and already know you, so there's got to be some type of relationship here. I don't want to just see all your information and go, well, I know someone that could use that service, but I don't know you. You and I have to become credible with one another, and that's where strategy sessions come in. Get to that in just 1 second. But let's talk about your who and your how. You must educate people on how to properly recommend you, how to properly introduce you if it's to a referral generator. So you need to spend time. And what I have found is that when people you finally get past selling to a group and they finally get to telling us about their trigger words and their target market and their ideal client, they leave it right there. And I hate that, because there's a lot of times, like, I recognize your target market. We use the analogy here that, if I saw your car ride by, but I let it keep going because I didn't know how to stop them and talk about you. I didn't know how to recommend you. I didn't know how to introduce you. I didn't know how to bring you up properly. And here's the deal. I don't want to sell your product for you. I'm not your sales team. Probably wouldn't do it very well. Don't know the ins and outs. Wouldn't know how to quote. And thank goodness, because I'm good at what I do. I'm good at what I do. I quote my services. I promote my products. I know everything that there is to do about what I do. And if I have to learn what you do at that level to make a recommendation or an introduction, I'm not going to do it, right? Because who has time to go learn everything about everybody in order to help grow their business? So take that off the plate. You're not trying to become anyone's sales team. You're not trying to recommend or introduce someone that you don't have a relationship with, that aren't credible, right? Get rid of all that junk, okay? And what I want you to think about is, okay, I want to connect with some people. I see some people on here that here's my target market, here's my trigger words, and I would love to set up strategy sessions. I would love to set up strategy sessions, because in those strategy sessions, now those are not an invitation to sell to each other, okay? Oh, I just cringe when I hear about that. And I hear about it. Trust me. People will email me and tell me, oh my gosh, that was painful. I just got sold to, Amy. And I'm like, oh, just keep trying. I promise you, there are people out there that know how to properly referral market. And we even have tricks to help turn that conversation a little differently if that's happening to you. But what you want to do in the strategy sessions. Strategy sessions should be all about going deeper on your who, but you have to switch the language to when you see this, when you know this person, when you do that, this is how to bring me up. This is how you can recommend me. This is how you can introduce me. This is how you can generate this opportunity for me. These are all key words we use here in Nspired. And so that's what you're supposed to be doing in strategy sessions. Strategy sessions are a time where you come together and you collaborate with one another and you work with each other and you think outside of the box with each other, or you explore challenges. But more importantly, you're developing relationships, long-term relationships that will be a part of your business as you move in the future, whether or not you stay in the same industry, the same company, the same town. These relationships will move forward with you. That's why I love referral marketing. Unlike other type of marketing where you have to always say fill the funnel, where you have to, and I say fill the funnel means, pay for it every single month or it's not there. And so what I love about referral marketing is that once you dump into people, those relationships are there. I get referrals today from people that I began networking with 20 some odd years ago. People who believed in me then, who believe in me now, who will find me on Facebook and go, hey, I hear you're still doing this. I've got a great referral for you. Or I thought about you the other day when someone said this. Or I'll get testimonials from people that say, hey, I heard I did this years ago and I never came back and told you what an impact that made on my business. And these are people that have been a part of my world. And a lot of them I don't necessarily see every single day. A lot of them are right here in Inspired Nation. We don't even communicate every single day with one another. But what I love is that when we can bring awareness to one another, when we can build relationships, when we can begin to exchange information, we create opportunities. We create opportunities for our business and for others. I've seen out there on the internet, all of this, during COVID, how can we help others? How can we help others? How can we, buy gift certificates for them? How can we, go shop at their store? And that's great. That's transactional. We love transactional referrals. We love to support one another. But let me ask you, when you went and bought that gift certificate from that small business owner, did you ask them, hey, what is your target market? Who would you like me to give this to? If I could help you, what is one way I could help you? If I was to share your information out on Facebook, what would I need to say on your behalf? You see, it's not just about a transaction. It's about dumping into each other's business. It's about learning how do we actually build a sustainable business plan where we're going to be in this for the long haul with one another. That's what we're talking about. We have a choice every single day about what our actions are going to generate, right? And so what I'm challenging every single one of you here on Inspired Nation, take advantage of the community that we're building here. Go out and put a post. Go out and put a post. Keep the part about all that you do really small, right? But go out there, and we have a 10-step that we say. Your name, your company name, your industry, and then you start to build into your referral language. Tell us about your target market, your who, and then tell us how we can bring you up. Tell us about your referral generator, your who, and tell us how we can introduce you. Tell us about a speaking or a workshop opportunity that puts you in front of a room full of your target market. And then tell us how we can generate that for you. And then end it with an immediate call to action. Something that we can do for you now, whether or not it's to set up a strategy session or to invite you to another group we're in that can help you. Could it be that we actually like, share, and comment on your social media page? Something immediate that we can do for you. If you've watched this all the way through to here, you know that I am challenging you. The month of July is a challenge to everyone out there to do your 10-step and tell us how we can help you grow your business. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of launching our Nspired Ignite program in July. And it has been an amazing year. I always knew that if I could just take my one-to-one consulting and put it out in a way that it could get to the masses, then I would be able to make a larger impact. I'd be able to change people, at more than one at a time. And that's exactly what's happened. So in the entire month of July, we're going to be pushing you guys here on Nspired Nation. We're going to make you get out there and connect with each other and stretch you out of that comfort zone and see if we can start building some really good building blocks here in Nspired that will carry you forward, with your business. In also celebrations, you're going to start seeing in the month of July, we are running a 50% discount on our Nspired Activator program, where we actually really go deep in all of this training out there on how to really develop those referrals, how to get comfortable with your word choices, how to develop the right referral generators, and so much more. If you're already an elite member and you've experienced what it's like to go through the program, go out there and put a testimonial on the page about the program. Do it in a way that you tell people about your business and what a great target market for you looks like. We want to build a community where we can help you. The philosophy at Nspired is inspire others. And that truly has been what has fueled us for the last 12 years, is we want to inspire others about going out there and this whole leap of faith thing about growing your business and learning how to do it by connecting with others. And that's exactly what we're all about here. I'm at the conclusion of today's tips. I hope that for many of you, you found value today. And if you're watching this back on replay, put #replay out there and let me know that you're committed to really diving deep into this whole referral marketing thing in the month of July. And I look forward to approving your post. If I disapprove it, I'm going to send you an extra note to help you rephrase it in a way that we can get your information out there on Nspired Nation. And remember, if I can make a recommendation or an introduction on your behalf, I will. I'm Amy D. Kilpatrick. I'm the president of Nspired Business Solutions. It's a mouthful. And I look forward to inspiring you.